What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us. New setup. I'm Jakob Rodriguez, of course. That's Andrew Zimmel, TXST Sports Press.
Live in person. I can like.
I'm not used to seeing you. I think that's why I fucked up the intro the first go around. But we're here.
It's wild. It is crazy. Thank you for having me in the what do you call it?
This is Chateau de Rodriguez.
The Mi Casa
Mojo
Dojo Casa House. Yeah.
I definitely live in a Barbie dreamland, by the way. I have no say in anything that goes on behind me. This is my domain.
That makes sense. But I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to talk TXST with you in person, even though I brought the heat with me. It was 85 degrees in North Dakota. I come down here and it was like 110.
It was already here, brother, when you fucking left. Actually, since you left Texas, it has gotten hotter.
Yeah?
Yeah.
31 days of straight 100-degree heat.
104 days of summer vacation. The school comes around just to end it.
There's 104 days of summer vacation, and school comes along just to end it.
Phineas and Ferguson.
Well, we're going to take you to school because we have the first installment, and maybe last installment, of In-Person Pod with me and Jacob. And
well, you'll be here in December, right?
Yeah.
By then, it could be a whole different fucking Texas State team that we're talking about.
Ooh, don't say that. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's the same
team. No, I'm saying
like
we could be talking completely different. Like, I can't believe we didn't take more of the overs instead of more of the unders instead of the overs.
Well, we break down a lot on this podcast, right? We talk about recruitment. We talk about schedule. We hit you with everything. So this is a jam-packed podcast, and the best part, we'll tailgate action.
And it's on the Republic Football Network. How perfect is that?
Oh, look at us.
Number 11. So this is now more than 50 episodes? I don't know.
A decade plus?
Might be 50 episodes.
And I will say this, we are growing as a podcast. You mentioned that as a producer, Jake. We'll let me know, at least text me. Thank you guys for supporting us on YouTube as well. That is like where probably the most growth has come.
Oh yeah, crazy growth. So no, we don't do shit for it. Like, we just put shit out there. The only thing I'm good at is content generation, I think, in my life. So put it up and see what happens. And our last one got like 80 views.
Just on YouTube. If you're looking to cut clips, call us.
Now, if you want an intern job, hit me up.
TXST alums. TXST students.
We're also looking for sponsors for our tailgate show. As you can tell, we're doing a tailgate show now. We had a tailgate show in college called Deep in the Heart of Tailgate. I think we're repossessing that name. So
roll it back in.
Yeah. So
give me that.
I'm trying to take that shit. I just said it on our show. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Yeah. Copyright. Roll tape.
Tired of winning the tailgate but losing the games? We can't help that. But we can tell you what the hell is up with each team and what's going on across sunny San Marcos. Texas State fans, get on your feet. You're listening to Squarin' Around with Jakob Rodriguez and Andrew Zimmel.
Andy, thank you so much for being my first in-person guest.
Glad to be here, Alan.
Who would have thought, you know? Who would have thought? Look at us.
Who would have thought?
Look at us. Hey, look at us.
Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
So this is a new look for us. It's something we can't do all the time because we can't stomach each other enough to do this podcast in person.
Fingers crossed we can't do it all the time, right?
Yeah. This is also a look that fits us pretty well for tailgate. Talking about tailgate as a whole. Do you have any rousing tailgate memories?
My freshman year, I got thrown out of not one, but two. Don't steal beer, kids.
Letter-related organizations, I'm assuming?
They had all the bad letters. Alpha, Delta, Beta, Sigma, all of them. Like,
Super Beta Prostate.
Yeah. So, look, got kicked out of a couple. All good. We lived to tell the tale. We moved on. It was more of a gentleman's, like, are you supposed to be here? No, I'm not supposed to be here. We need to get our big brother. Okay, I'll leave. That type of thing. But it's all good. All good.
You're like, I am the big
brother, but that's fine. Look, and the other thing is too, I will never take those guys seriously. Making those poor losers wear jeans to the tailgate, I feel bad for them. I was out here, thighs out, suns out, thighs out. You know what I mean? I was ready to go.
I went through that entire process as a young man. I came out on the other side. I think I'm better for it. But this shirt is actually a testament to the tailgates at Texas State.
That was a white shirt when you got it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
a lot of red wine.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I've survived tailgates at Texas State, to put it shortly. I've also survived allegations of who do you know here, you know? So
The dreaded who do you know here?
I understand. Texas State is actually doing the who do you know here with the tailgate scene again, flipping it back from the, like the nice tailgate central that they have right in front of the stadium. And now we're going back to, I guess, what is it, the south side of the train tracks? The OGs were around when that happened in 2016.
I hated that spot. Now
2016 was also the last year G.J. Kinney was a professional football player. You know that? Calgary Stampede.
I hate that location. It's better now because they've built up that end zone, or not the end zone complex. They built up the athletic complex in general, so there's a little bit more space on the other side of the street. I just don't like where it is. I liked it in the front. I thought it was really cool. I remember going to a game where they had the visiting tailgate on the other side of the stadium, and I remember those guys, it was a UTSA game, I'm pretty sure, because those guys were like, why is this not the location for everything? Because this is a great spot to be. Look, personally, I'm not going to be out there tailgating with you guys. Maybe I am, but I don't think right now that I am. God bless you on that south side of the end zone complex, because there's not a lot of shade either. That's the other thing. Now, granted, there wasn't a lot of shade on the front side either. However, it was more centrally located. You're right.
It's centrally located. I think what they wanted is just to like bring more people in. So they're like, oh, if we have everybody here anyway, there's like no excuse to not go to the game.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. There's a lot of area that you have to cross. They didn't release a map of like the tailgate area, but they will. And it'll just be like, I can just take a screenshot of the Google Maps right now.
Now, I've pitched this. My dad's pitched this. I don't think the university will ever do this because for liability reasons. But has anybody ever thought of like a skywalk over the train tracks?
That's kind of similar to what UIW has.
Yeah.
Stadium.
Yeah, because like a thing like that, if you had that and you could do kind of like this, again, centrally located, you go from the skywalk over the railroad tracks into the stadium. But the problem with that would be some drunk guy falls off that and then falls and gets hit by a train. So that's always on the table. However, I don't think it's a terrible idea. It's just hard to accomplish.
I always forget you and I went to school when there was no bridge on Ocarina.
Yeah.
Like it was just in construction, in flux.
So you just had random equipment that was like next to it too.
And then the entire city was ground to a hole.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. Every Saturday. Because it was like, for people would come for tailgate, and then best time for traffic, honestly, during the football game. Because, people's out and about, driving around. If you ever had to get groceries and Texas State was on a 2-10 win season, trajectory, that'd be the day to do it, Saturday afternoons. Get your HEB.
Get your HEB?
Yeah, go to your little HEB. Or the big HEB.
So whatever they do, I think it'll be fine, because they've done it before. I think Texas State has messed around with tailgates enough to understand the implications, both of, pissing off boosters and not making celebratory fun easy, and also, the other side. It could just be good for team atmosphere.
I'll say this. I think that this is the year if you're going to play with it, because you're going to have a lot of hype around GGA. People are going to want to come to the games, period. End of story. You got to figure out what you're going to do this year, and then hopefully not change a lot up, because if you're flipping it every 3 or 4 years, dudes are going to get pissed. Guys that are coming back every year, alumni coming back every year to tailgate, they're not going to be happy when they're having to try to figure out what parking the situation is. What's the rule this year? Is it different? You just want to have one rule and stick with it.
This is week 2 of fall count. I think something that kind of floated around last week was, who's our quarterback? Like a storybook narrative, but in some ways kind of a made-up narrative, I feel. Texas State,
I think they've all progressed. They've all gotten better. They've all kind of had their periods, kind of had their days. I thought C.J. Rogers had his best day today. I think he responded. He kind of started off a little slow, and I think he responded today. And we're still rotating those 3 guys equally for right now with P.J. And P.J.'s starting to get a little bit more reps. We weren't able to go with P.J. early because our 3-0 line, they weren't ready to practice yet. So now we got those 3-0 linemen ready to go, and P.J. PJ, you can start seeing him, make some strides. He's not going to be ready this year probably early in the season, but I could see him, towards the end, kind of see how it plays out. But I think he's one of those guys you stand back and watch him practice, and he's doing things the right way. And so I'm really happy with PJ, CJ. Malik had his best night. We had a night practice the other night. He had his best night, and TJ's just kind of been very solid throughout. He operates very well. He throws the ball very well. He just wasn't here in the spring and missed some of the summer. So some of that is just learning curve. But I think he's responded very well. You can see, his leadership kind of come out at times. You can tell he's been at some really good places, been around some really good coaches. So you see his leadership at times be really good. Now all of them need to continue to be better, but it's hard. Playing quarterback, when you're battling for a job, sometimes it's hard to kind of assert yourself because you're going with the ones and you're going with the twos and you're going with the threes and you're going with the ones. So it's tough. So we have to do a good job as coaches as this thing goes down the stretch of kind of narrowing it down. You just have to. So all those quarterbacks have done really well though, and they're competing their butts off, and they're doing it the right way. You see those guys in between throws, kind of dapping each other up. So it's a good competition, but those guys are handling it the right way.
Like now. DJ Kenny is like, hey, I think Hornsby's doing pretty well, Like, what do you mean? The guy that you've had this whole time is doing well suddenly?
The guy that had the playbook the earliest is doing well? Yeah. You'd like to have one guy coming in, but I think across college football, there's only a handful of programs. I think of the 133, there's probably maybe 60 or 70 that have their guy right now that they're like, we're happy with. And then I think the rest of college football is kind of trying to figure out cream will rise to the top. I think Malik Hornsby is that cream. I think he has risen to the top. The other thing is, we talk about the playbook, man. Finley is not the type of quarterback that Hornsby is. Can you run the same plays with the two quarterbacks? That's going to be a question to kind of figure out against Baylor.
I have this set up, too, for a multitude of reasons. One, so I could actually go see the team, I could do a whole podcast from out there, just the same way that we're doing now. I probably won't. But, I don't know, I think going to fall camp is just kind of like watching guys work out. You feel that way?
Dudes working out? I mean,
just like,
that seems like a
how's
win.
it going, fellas?
I'm here for it.
I am in a polo and shorts. How's your day going?
I'm a lot cooler than you are.
I've been up at 4 in the morning. I hate my life.
People recognize me from the podcast, and you get shoulder checked on campus.
Me? No, I don't.
Well, just in general.
I get recognized from the podcast, too.
Yeah, I know.
In San Antonio.
Really?
The ops recognize me. Yeah, watch out.
I was saying you were talking about being cooler than the athletes. I was saying, yeah, you're a podcaster.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I get recognized more than those guys. Who are they? They were all signed from, hey, Ohio State University, go ahead, come over here, and maybe you can play.
Yeah?
I graduated from Texas State. It was on the homecoming court.
You're a big deal.
Zim, we're tailgating. The only way you could look cooler at a tailgate is by rocking a unique fit, Women, obviously, are rocking boots, short shorts, and some sort of either jersey or maroon something or other. The guys, we gotta go off with the fits.
The fits.
I'm talking polos. I'm talking button-ups. I'm talking graphic tees and more at Elite Sports.
Now, you're a polo guy. I'm a graphic tee guy. It just goes to show you the different...
Look at us right now.
There's formulas of how we do things. I think the graphic tee, we're a little bit relaxed. You might not be talking to the girls, but I think the fellas, you're rocking in the shade a little bit.
Circles.
Trading a couple of adult beverages. The polos, though, that is how you talk to the ladies in the Dixie or the Daisy Dukes and the boots. You would know.
I would, yeah.
So, polo or graphic tee guy.
I could have a photo of me and Alyssa at the tailgate. Anyway, if you go to elitesports.com
you can get both.
/star, actually. I think it's cute that they added the star. We have the background on the star. But elitesports.com /star, you can browse the entire collection, support an athlete directly on their site. Malik Hornsby, Ashton Oggins, Dan Foster Jr. There's a bunch of guys on there from the football team. And if that's not your cup of tea, volleyball, baseball, basketball. Name your pick. It's on there. elitesports.com /square /star. Not bad. /star. Use code SQUARE at checkout. Help out the podcast.
How about the pod?
Have we come up with a name for DJ Kinney / Mac Leftwis's air raid? Or I don't want to say it's air raid. It's not traditional air raid scheme. Maybe. I feel like now all of college football is just kind of like copy paste that playbook ish, and then at Jerome, little fun twists. Mac Leftwich, by the way, is 30 for 30. He's like, for 24/7 sports, these are the 30 guys you have to be paying attention because they may be running
Under 30.
Who knows? Yeah,
30 under 30.
28.
How about Air Mo?
Air Mo.
Air Mo. Is there Air Raid, Air Mo, Air San Marcos?
Air Cat.
Air Cat? I like Air Cat.
Air Cat.
Bobcat Raid?
Mm.
Oh, maybe we hit something there? The Bobcat Raid offense? We'll keep workshopping.
Yeah.
Keep workshopping.
I don't know what to call it because I don't think it like Leftwich is. I don't know.
Yeah. I get it. No, I understand.
But
Try to combine the two
But
names.
Mac Leftwich had time to like install it. I'll come up with it. It's basically wholly his own. DJ Kinney took him for this ride. So,
Yeah, I guess so. I understand. 28 years old, though?
20 years old.
Wow. He and I would have been in elementary school together. He could have been a senior when I was a sophomore.
This was kind of big news too last week for the team is that they hired a recruiting coordinator. DJ called him like the head of texting, the head of Instagram, the head of all the things that DJ was doing basically for the entire thing. He's a former
One less thing on his plate.
Yeah, he's a former Sam Houston State Bearcat. I'm talking about Randy Martinez, who's now the recruiting operations coordinator, who has deep DFW ties as a running back, tight end, and recruiting coordinator at Duncanville. Yeah.
Okay.
And the Bobcats are tweeting a lot of mess this week about the DFW area, the Triple D area, saying we're very comfortable here. We're going to make this like a statement piece, basically, of all of our recruiting classes going forward.
Okay. It's going to be hard to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of schools in Dallas already.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, so not only are you competing with the Power 5 schools of the world, but you're also competing with SMU to keep those athletes there. TCU, Power 5 school, but still, they're in the area. Oklahoma State, they have connections so it's like there's a lot of teams and schools already there, but of all of the regions in Texas, I'm always going to lean towards Central Texas because that's my home. If I was going to be non-biased, that northern Texas area, man, that DFW area has some of the best athletes in the country, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when you talk about the offensive side of the ball.
You could just name like two schools, like DeSoto, Duncanville is one or two.
There's a lot. There's a lot of really good talent, a lot of good athletes in that area of the state. So to say, like, okay, no, we're going to put our footprint down, that's cool.
Texas is like a bar chart in a lot of ways. Like, as far as, like, football goes, from South Texas to North Texas, like, the level of play is in half. So
really?
You can argue, San Antonio's got a history of, like, great teams.
5A schools.
Yeah, 5A, exactly.
Well, in Austin, too, Westlake. Yeah, so I get that. Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. I just think to myself, that's a hard job. The person who's in charge of recruiting at any college level, that is not an easy job. We joke all the time, right? People say they want to work in sports media and they want to work in social media. And I tell them, like, that job's insane. That's a hard job. Take that and then put it on steroids. Because to be the person who's in charge of recruiting, now every single guy that is on GJ's wish list that doesn't come to Texas State, this is the guy you talk to. You know what I mean? That's who people are going to complain to. Well, why did we get that guy?
Yeah.
That's a really hard job.
I don't want to deal with social media stuff anyway, but we've done it.
Shout out Kate, bro.
Yeah, shout out Kate. I also think, like, for as much as we've talked about this team tweeting, like, could you imagine, like, one of those coaches, like, basically just on Twitter next to a girl or a woman or maybe his own wife that he's talking to and going, like, yeah, look at all this. And then you have to scroll through that as, like, their partner, effectively. And going, like, what the hell are they talking about? It's just all this, like, take back Texas. Boom, we back, DFW. Like, I think it's at best, it's a beige flag. At worst, it's a red flag. Like, get this guy some help. He's delusional. He's talking about Texas State.
That's the other thing. So, like, you think about the entry-level jobs in college athletics, and you probably would think that social media probably a beginner job, kind of an entry-level job. Because if you're not, imagine a 45, 55, 65-year-old guy, say a journeyman college football coach who's coming in to take over the social media account to tweet at guys, to tweet highlights and clips. Like a guy, say a junior posts his big game on a Friday night. Now this coach has to go and quote a tweet with what? Eye emojis? Right? Like, come on, It's a tough gig.
Just imagine it has to be like that meme of like the guy that's yelling at that girl and she doesn't care. Because like no girl, well I wouldn't say no girl because there's a lot of girls that care about football, especially like betting. There's like betting podcasts just for women now. But like my girlfriend does not care about football. She could not care less. She asked me to talk about football when she wants to go to sleep. And then that's it. She's out like a light. I start talking about my fantasy team.
Oh, wow.
It's downhill from there.
I need to go back, circle back to this women betting podcast that you got. That's a thing, really?
I'm tapped in, yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, it's Barstool. It's like the whole thing. Yeah. It's like they want to appeal to a wider range of audience. There's women that are interested in sports, or at least making money off of sports.
I did not know that was like a subgenre. That just missed me. What is it, girl math? Like, what are we talking about here? I don't get it. That doesn't make, or whatever. It doesn't make sense to me.
No free plugs on our show.
You'd think that it would just be one generic betting podcast, and that would be like, they don't have a ESPN Fantasy Football women's app. You know what I mean?
Yassified.
Okay. Shocking.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Sure.
How much of a tool do I fucking look like right now?
Do you look like...
I just saw myself in the preview.
Oh, no, I look like a fat ass, so you're set.
You look like a fat ass. Oh.
I'm not fat, I'm just very much bigger than everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I got the thick neck. That's the other thing. So what am I going to do? Like, have a smaller neck? I feel like, this is what happens when watching the Barbie movie. I've become, like, self-conscious of, like, how I look.
I feel that.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm just a voice.
You're just a guy.
I'm just a guy. I'm just a kid, dude. That's tough. It's tough boiled. I'm enough.
Speaking of recruiting, which was not easy.
Hard cut.
Hard cut. Speaking of recruiting, 24/7 Sports actually have the Bobcats as the second best recruiting class in all of the Sun Belt. Which, they signed.
Who was number one?
South Alabama. Okay. Is that good?
A couple years ago, Arkansas
So
State.
where is that school?
South Alabama.
Jonesboro?
Mobile, Alabama.
Take back Mobile.
Take back Mobile. Yeah, no, it's Mobile, Alabama. Jonesboro is in Arkansas. Yeah. We'll get the geography right. Slowly but surely.
I'm not good. I don't travel much. I don't get out much. I get homesick. I'm from the Valley. I go home immediately.
I get it. I'm homesick. That's why I'm here. I decided to come back to Texas and melt like an ice cream cone. A big vanilla ice cream cone.
I know. We're shooting this like fucking 90 degrees. My camera's burning up. I have to check it every 15 minutes just to make sure it's still
overheat. So, okay, we're number 2 in the Sun Belt. Great, honestly. But the thing is that the Jacob Rodriguez School of Recruiting means that you don't believe any of these rankings until they prove something.
That's true.
You were right about Jimbo Fisher a couple years ago at A&M. I was right about him as well. We said the number 1 recruiting class does not mean not anything if you don't get 10 wins.
Kellen Mond.
Having the number 1 recruiting class in the Sun Belt or number 2 recruiting class in the Sun Belt, while South Alabama makes sense, right? A team that's competitive year in and year out. You'd like to think Texas State with these guys are going to be competitive, but only time will tell. You got to know, you don't know what you have in that. You hope it's good. You look at the other conferences. If you're a new Texas State fan, say you're somebody who followed A&M or Texas, right? And now you're a Texas State fan. You look at those other schools, and the idea is, okay, maybe 1 or 2 of these guys will be a dud, but we have a lot. Texas State in the Sun Belt is more like trying to get a prize out of a Cracker Jack box. You kind of have an idea, like, okay, we're going to get a lot of peanuts, we're going to get a lot of, popcorn. What is going to be the prize? What's the prize in the Cracker Jack box? And if you get one of those guys, one guy who can legitimately play at the next level, an Aaron Brewer, David Mayo type, Brian London type, then that is an excellent recruiting class. That's kind of where it's at. Like, can you get the toy in the Cracker Jack box?
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really get much out of it.
Let me ask you. So
it's like, what do you think of the team?
Player A comes from a university. He's a backup. Doesn't have a lot of stats, but he's a transfer. Player B is a guy who came to high school, played at a San Antonio school, a Judson, a Reagan, whatever, and you have high school stats. Does that matter to you? Did either one of those? Which one of those guys gets you a little more excited?
If we had like an Arch Manning type caliber recruit, then I would be like, oh, well, we gotta try to talk to this guy. And also, do you think like any journalist in Austin is talking to Arch Manning? Like, that's not how that works either. Like, we would get zero access to that. I don't know.
But I'm saying, as a fan, for you, like, which one of those guys gets you more excited?
Oh, I guess like a really highly touted high schooler.
Okay.
I was really excited. We had a guy who was formerly on the Last Chance U team. The last year we were at Texas State, and so that was like the year that we was like, oh, tell us about it, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
That was kind of fun.
Gotcha.
But like then we just all did the same article. Like the thing about sports is you all are getting the same information basically from like all the journalists at least are getting the same information at the exact same time, unless you're like very well sourced, well educated,
or us that just
there
pronosticate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like why you tune into this
And
show.
also like right most of the time, so we don't even have to be there. We know how the town works. Talked a little about gear in this show. Kelly Danfus made it easy for all Texas State alums to, I guess, shop for Texas State gear online. I know that was like a complaint like a couple years ago. Like, where can I find a polo? I'm at tailgate, and they're telling me who do I know here, bro? Who do I know here, bro? Well, Texas State literally made a list for all that shit. Kind of cool. This is not sponsored by the show. Kelly did not pay us to say this, but you can find like all like the luxury brands and stuff.
Yeah.
You know. Peter Millar. You want to pay $130 for a polo? Be my guest.
I outsourced a lot of my stuff
These are all like the license
to our
logos,
friend. Yeah, I was gonna say I licensed a lot of my stuff to a lot of my stuff to our friends across the ocean.
You can't sue them for copyright or infringement if you don't know where they are.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, and I keep those very close to my chest, Kelly. So if you want to get my friends over there, it's not happening. No, I mean, so it's cool.
Bobcat Sports, Wuhan, China.
Exactly. I got you guys. No, so it's like it's funny because I was in the same boat. I was asking where the hell can I buy stuff while I was in school, and now it's a lot easier. The other thing is that I spend
now you can like go to Target. Like it used to be like you couldn't even go to the Target off of Wonderworld and find Texas State.
Yeah,
gear.
it wasn't there.
You could find Longhorn gear. You could find A&M gear. You could find every other team, but not Texas State.
Yeah, 100%.
You could find San Marcos Rattler gear faster than you could find Texas State.
That is true. That's 1,000% true. They did a better job. I don't know what to say. They won more games. Yeah, I mean, Texas State gear was a hard find. The funniest thing is when you would go to Austin, and there would be UT gear, A&M gear, and Ohio State gear, and you're like, what the hell is Ohio State gear doing here? Where's my Texas lanyards or Texas State lanyards? So it's tough times, but now it's easier.
A couple more headlines to get to. One of them you'll really like, I think. Big Savion Patton signed with the Falcons.
Okay.
Traplana.
Yeah.
Good luck, Savion.
Shout out Savion.
You know, he signed a contract, league minimum, $700,000 a year. Georgia, non-state, tax state.
No income tax?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Formerly a red state, flip blue.
Or maybe low income tax, right? Like I know I pay like 1% or something like that in North Dakota.
Yeah. And he's got to hold down his girl now.
That's
so
facts.
I think engagement's in the works.
Kidding.
I think a house is in the works.
In Atlanta?
I don't know, probably. Well, I don't know if Atlanta proper, but there's a lot of...
Hey, Savion, if you have a housewarming party and you invite us out there, we will come out there.
We'll do a show from your house.
Deadass, we will come out there, Savion. So remember.
I love Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport.
I would be...
the biggest airport in the country.
What would it take for you to change alliances? So, Cowboys, clearly you're number one. A Texas State quarterback comes through, a running back comes through, wide receiver, defense, Savion Patton. That's where I'm going with this. What would it take you to flip alliances and be like, okay, I'm rooting for this NFL team because of this Texas State player?
Let me tell you, I kind of already am rooting for the Falcons.
Okay.
Because of Donda.
Donda, 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 donda.
Gotcha.
The whole deal was filmed at fucking Mercedes-Benz, whatever it's called. And they also, the Falcons, right? It's like the most affordable place to get like a pretzel or something in that league. Like the league owner, like subsidized costs, basically. You know, Jerry Weld is actually not that hard to get a beer at.
Okay, got it. So you're already a Falcons fan.
Sort of.
Okay.
Win in Rome, you know? Like, I'm not going to pass down an opportunity to go either cover an NFL game or see an NFL team.
But I'm saying, like, to root for them, to buy gear, to buy, like, a jersey of that, to put them on the big TV. You got two TVs set up. Big TV goes to the Alliance team. Small TV usually goes to your fantasy team. Mostly it's the way. What would it take for a NFL team to knock the Cowboys to the small TV and put this other team, because a Bobcat was on the team, on the big TV?
Hey, if Savion started this year, I'll watch it. Second team. Be my second team.
Aaron Brewer. Shout out Aaron Brewer. Right now, depth chart number 1 center on Tennessee Titans. We're watching you, buddy. We got you.
Hell yeah. David Mayo. Return our call, bro.
Yeah. Reach out.
Reach it out.
It's fine.
Just do it. I know you're watching, David.
Yeah.
I know you're watching.
Hey, look, we've done our due diligence. We're trying to make it happen. There's a lot of. The thing is, NFL season kicking up. We're in training camp. Odds are we're not going to get them right now. However, the Commander season goes on. It's going to go. Call us in week 8. We got you.
This next headline's
Okay.
Nigel Pearson in year 4 in the Euro League.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the Euro League proper, but he is playing in
Europe. No, it's not the Euro League. He's playing in Europe.
Also a great follow on Twitter.
Still a solid follow.
Yeah, I hate to see the people that
Doubted him.
that hate
Yeah.
that hated him.
The bit is that Nigel hates me, and I don't think that he thinks about me.
I think that's the only negative relationship that we haven't repaired on this podcast. Like, we talked to Don, we talked to the entire athletics department,
We talked to Brady.
Talked to Brady.
You meant some
squashed beef.
Yeah, meant some fences there. So yeah, I think that's
Is that the last one?
yeah.
There wasn't many, I guess.
There wasn't many. I didn't have a lot of beefs.
Once you get a new AD, it kind of
a lot
makes
of
it easier.
if
Okay. Now we're at the point where we're going to pick our schedules.
This is what I was looking forward to. So this is
Yeah, tell your story first,
this
and then
works-
by the time you tell it,
this
I'll have to
works
start anyway.
perfectly into the beef segment of the show. So Jacob, for the longest time, had a beef with our guy Scott Watkins over there in Hattiesburg, covers the Golden Eagles. He texted me on my birthday yesterday. Texted me on my birthday, 4-8, no context. But I knew exactly what he was talking about. I knew that he was giving me his prediction for Texas State. Who texted me on their birthday that their favorite team, their alma mater, is going to finish 4 games under 500?
Our team, right?
Our team.
You're not talking about Southern Miss.
No, he's texted us about Texas State. He sent me 4-8.
Also, did he go to Southern? Or where did
No,
he
he
go
went to Troy. He went to Troy, which
Loser.
is Troy is not. I would not call them a loser by any means. They're a solid athletic program.
But like, would it be weird to you, like if you graduated from Texas State, obviously, now you have to go write about the Raging Cajuns? I would hate writing about that team. But if they're paying the bills,
yeah, exactly. And I think that you'd be a little bit more stringent on your Lafayette, Louisiana.
Suddenly, I have a lot of opinions on etouffee.
Yeah, and suddenly all of a sudden your bylines are going to be saying from Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
LA. So anyway, so he texted me 4-8, and I was like, okay, dude, thanks for the update. So that was his prediction. You can look at it on Twitter as well, but I couldn't believe it. I was like, what type of guy jumps off the top rope? Love the dude, but come on, 4-8. We'll go through ours because I'm feeling pretty frisky right now. As the official 6-6 podcast of Texas Athletics, we'll go through it. Jacob, University of Texas, El Paso, UTEP, the Miners. This is a historic program. This is a program that has a ton of history, not only across football, but also men's basketball. They got a home field deal for us.
Deservedly so, I think.
Deservedly so. I love our friends over there in El Paso. However, home field, call us. We got a lot of good BOCO ideas. Anyway, I might go buy some. I might go rock some UTEP gear as I travel the United States, go back up to North Dakota, and I got to rock a hoodie, and they got some of those over there at home field.
Do you have any sort of deal that could help me out if I also want to jump on the UTEP bandwagon?
Yeah, the way to help you out there would be using promo code SQUARE. We keep it easy for you over here. SQUARE across all promos. The more important thing, home field. Go support them, and then of course you can get 10% off using SQUARE for first-time users.
Yeah, first-time users 15% off. Returning users 10% off. Keep
Wow.
coming back, paying it back to the almighty Square gods.
A lot of good stuff. UTEP, University of Texas, A&M, and of course NDSU, Bison as well. Got a lot of different teams. We're back. We're going to get so much shit for my knees being like this far apart.
Talking about predictions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. As we all know, we're 25 days away from this day of recording, Tuesday, August 8th, for the Bobcats to go into Baylor and dominate? Question mark? Week
Depends on
one
who
at
asks.
Baylor. Who do you got?
All right, after looking at the books and thinking about this a lot, because I don't think it would have mattered if it was in Waco or in San Mo. I'm drinking the Baylor juice. I'm going Baylor. Do they have the spread yet for us?
I could look it up, but no, I don't.
I'm going to go Baylor 35.
I think it's like 26 Baylor. Like,
That's their favorite, 26 points.
Mhm.
They're going to win by 26. 35.
Yeah, I think that's a little insulting, to be honest. I think it's like 15.
35-21.
But, nobody makes money on a $15 line. Yeah.
35-21 Baylor. I think
35-21.
we score 3 touchdowns. I think it's going to be very close in the first half. I think Baylor puts up 2 touchdowns early in the third, and that's the deciding factor.
Baylor's not going to be that good. They're not going to compete for a Big 12 championship.
No, but they're going to push a lot of teams. They're going to push the Houston.
But they're kind of figuring shit out. They're kind of like us. And also, storyline I didn't understand about this game until last week is that G.J. Kinney's little brother is on the team.
Yeah.
Which is like another. I'm sure everybody and their mom will be talking about this come that time.
Well, first off, G.J. is going to have a lot more impact on the game than his brother is.
Yeah.
That's without a doubt. I just look at it this way. New quarterback, new system, Power 5 team, going into Waco. Maybe Texas State gets a little bit of that 2015 mojo against Houston, where they went in and they beat the Cougars. Maybe that happens. But right now, I'm feeling that Baylor gets the job done to start things off. It's going to be one of those games where we leave it knowing more about Texas State. We're going to know a lot more about Texas State. And we're going to feel good. We're going to lose a game, but we're still going to feel good. That's where I'm at with the Baylor loss. No moral victories, but you're going to look at, because we're going to get to the next 2 weeks, and we're going to say that Baylor loss answered questions that we needed to have answered to win these next 2 games.
I think it's just, like, I already said it. I'm chalking this one up as an L, just based on the way GJ answered my question about it.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have a score prediction?
I do think we're going to see 2 quarterbacks, though, regardless at Baylor.
I don't.
We've talked about 2. It'll probably be 2.
I think that if things go the way that I think they will, the time we see TJ Finley will be in the fourth quarter. We're not going to see him in the first half. It'll be Hornsby's game to start. It'll be his game after halftime. In the fourth quarter, I think that's when things start getting shaken up a little bit.
Okay, well, what about week 2? UTSA. They come to our humble abode.
This is where our humble abode.
Their
home. We're going down.
Well, me and you.
Yeah. And this is where I'm going to get first game. They got a big target on their back. Huge target on their back.
The biggest target in the NCAA.
I would say the biggest. Honestly,
besides Texas,
out inside the state, they might have the second biggest one. Inside a group of 5, they might have the biggest target on their back. I think that Texas State upsets UTSA.
Ooh.
I'm going on a limb here. 1-1. I think it's going to be one of those games that. GJ, you're watching this.
This is a big.
This is a clip.
Student in the master moment.
This is a clip here. This is the game that GJ wins after losing in a Carter Word. Like we don't get another one of these. This is the revenge game from losing to North Dakota State. I think that he learned lessons from that loss against a more physical opponent in NDSU. I think that he's been instilling that. I think it's kept him up at night over the past 6 months. I think he comes into this game. I think the guys are ready to play. I don't think they get pushed around by UTSA. And this is also the game where we clip it and we send it to our boy Craven and we say, this is the best quarterback in the state.
Frank Harris, by the way, 7 knee surgeries. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's like, get off the field.
I'm just saying. I'm going Texas State here. I know a lot of you are going to say I'm insane. I'm crazy. August 8th, I'm telling you, Texas State beats UTSA. It's going to be a close one. Give me 28-24.
For the sake of this podcast, I'm going to go L. Just
whatever you feel.
Well, I just think it's lame to be like, win, yeah.
Okay.
You gave great reasoning for yours. I'm just going to go L.
Okay.
Because I know further down this stretch, it's going to get a lot.
0-2. So you're 0-2. I'm 1-1. Okay.
0-2, 1-1. The next 2 weeks, Jackson State, then Nevada.
Win.
I think so too.
3-1.
I'm going 2 wins back to back.
3-1. Jackson State. It's a trap game. Jackson State's a trap game. HBCU program. Don't sleep on them. Texas State has learned its lesson. I think sleeping on FCS opponents before.
The house that Prime built.
A lot of that talent's gone. A whole new regime in there. A whole new coaching staff. I've been told that they do not have the same money behind them as before. I heard that a lot of that money that Dion got as he went to Jackson State, I heard that was not year over year. Some of that money not still in the program, spent a lot of it. Got to spend money to make money. I think that's going to be a big win for Texas State. And then the Nevada one, that is going to be the one where everybody's saying, "Oh shit, Texas State, different program." 3-1, conversations around the Sun Belt. What is Texas State? A big win against UTSA. 2 more straight wins. 3-1 after a Baylor loss. And you're talking about, could they win the Sun Belt West?
Yeah. According to my chart, I have them at now 2-2. Now 500 team, kind of more measured. Like, ooh, we've seen some good things, we've seen some bad things.
Okay.
If we stop right now, Texas State's just as good as 4 years ago.
Yeah.
The next 2 weeks after that, Southern and Louisiana.
2 losses. 3-3. Southern is going to be a really rough one. That's the team that's going to be competing for the Sun Belt West. That's going to be the comeback to earth moment. Louisiana, that's at Lafayette, right? Or that's in San Marcos?
Let me double check for you, sir. That's at Cajun Field.
It's a loss. 3-3.
I'm going to say we lose to Southern, win against Louisiana. A lot of bad blood between those 2 programs, especially between me. I need this team to win.
Okay. Personal.
So
is that your?
It's the Jacob Rodriguez vendetta tour.
Do you have a lock? Have we hit the Jacob Rodriguez lock of the season yet?
Oh no, yeah.
Okay.
No,
So
that's further down.
3-3, right?
Okay. Are we at 3-3? Yeah, I think we're now measured at 3-3 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. ULM and Troy. Next 2 little game series we got. Family weekend and homecoming weekend at Bobcat Stadium, by the way. ULM, lock of the year. Lock it in now.
Both home games.
30-point game at ULM. Bobcats go in there. Homecoming, the game that our boy Brady McBride will be at. Also a Cub. I'm going aggro.
All right, I love it.
I'm on the homecoming court. I gotta represent.
I love it. So that's against ULM, so that's a win. I'll take it as well. So 4-3. Troy, though, that's where it gets tricky. They've got one of the better coaches in the country. If everything, again, we're doing this in August. If everything goes right,
we're locking it now. So if you say we suck ass, we said this shit in August.
Yeah. If anything changes with this program, anything happens to Troy, this could be a win. However, in August, on paper, Troy has more experience, in my opinion. They have more championship pedigree. It's going to be a tight one. Write this one down, Jacob. I don't think Texas State scores 35 in any of these big games. I don't think they score 35 in any of these big games. Give me Troy 28, Texas State 24.
Okay.
28-24 loss.
Tough. Did the Bobcats learn a lot from that loss?
It's a home loss. I think
homecoming loss. Another homecoming loss. By the way, this is October 28th.
And I'll say this: I think it's the last homecoming loss of the GJ Kenny era.
Okay.
I think you lose it against Troy, and then from there on, we do not lose another homecoming game in the GJ Kenny era. That's my bold prediction.
We love our veterans. The next week, Georgia Southern, Heroes Day, and then Coastal Carolina the week after that.
Those both home games. We have a 4-game home streak.
Actually, the one in Coastal is a 3-game homestand that finishes with Southern.
Gotcha. So Southern, that's another program. Kind of shaky. You never really know where you're going to get. They are the better of the 2 Georgia schools. Consistently, that's a loss. I'm going 4-5. I know it's tough. The East is incredible. We talked about it last week. The East is insane. They're going to get their asses kicked every other week in that Eastern division with JMU and App State and Coastal and everybody else. I look at it this way. I go, I think they come in. I think we go over there and we lose. So that's what's. Or I think they come here and we lose. 2-game losing streak.
2-game losing streak.
4-5.
I think we're giving away too many W's in this one.
You are?
Yeah, I think. What am I at right now? I'm at 1, 2, 3.
And Coastal is going to be a win. I think Coastal has a down year this year. I don't trust Tim Beck.
I'm going to join you on the 2-game losing streak thing, and I'll say we win at Coastal.
So what are we at? 5-5? I
think so.
Okay, sounds about right. 5-5. I don't trust Tim Beck. Grayson McCall is the best quarterback in the conference. At this point in the season, though, I think we only have 3 or 4 games left.
2.
He might be shut down. I'm talking about Coastal. I think he might be thinking about
He's got a lot
getting
of miles on him.
A lot of miles on him, trying to get ready for the NFL draft. There's a chance that he gets banged up and says, you know what, this team is looking at a 4 or 5 win season. I don't want any part of it. Draft analysis is going to say, what the hell are you doing? But it's the Sun Belt, so he's not like he's playing for a national championship. I think he might be shut down by this point. I'm going Texas State beats Coastal Carolina. Takes down the shot clears on the teal field, and don't trust Tim Beck.
It's getting scary, Zone, because we're down to the 2-game stretch. I think we're already at
5-5. Can you split the last 2?
Yeah, well, one of them's Arkansas State, so yes, I hope so.
That's 6.
Yeah.
Arkansas State in San Marcos, correct? Or is it in Jonesboro?
No. They're at Jonesboro.
I should be a win. I feel okay about it.
Play them anywhere, we probably would.
I'm feeling okay about it.
Across the athletics department.
I think that Arkansas State game is going to be the biggest offensive output of the season for Texas State. That's going to be the first time that they broke 40 points. And people are going to be saying, oh shit, can this be a team that puts 40 up every week next year? That's not going to be the case. Arkansas State, a historically bad team. They're on one of the worst runs that the program has had in the recent years. I'm going Texas State goes to Jonesboro and gets the win. And at that point, it's 6-5, bowl eligible. So then you got to go in the last game. Last game of the season, Jacob.
L.
Which is?
South Alabama. At Bobcat Stadium.
And the season on a loss, we're at 6-6. So that's where we're at. 6-6 on the season. I think that the most risky one is the UTSA win that I gave us. But if you're at home thinking to yourself,
not Troy, upset for homecoming night.
I said we were going to beat UTSA.
Yeah, I know, but a team that's better than UTSA
is Troy. Okay.
At least
So
Cheer Bowl Classic.
So you're saying that the win that you gave them on homecoming
could be. I don't know. Okay. Who's to say?
I'm saying I think that UTSA is the most risky one. 6-6. That's a better than our pregame prediction or the betting odds, which is 4.5.
Way better. If you just took the line, you might make money.
Yeah.
Might lose money. Might lose your home. Might lose your wife. Again. Way to go. Dad.
I like our chances. I like our chances. 6-6. That's the official stance of the podcast.
How we get there is a little different, but yeah.
I think
it's going to be some dry spells and some hot weeks. We're on SVP. Oh, God.
And that's fine. This is ride the maroon wave with us. That's fine. Like I said, we built it into the schedule. There's a couple. There's a 3-game homestand. You're like, oh shit, what are we doing here? What are we doing? We lost 2 of the 3 at home. That's not great. And I think to myself, this is a team that desperately needs it, a fan base that desperately needs it, and I really hope and pray that the guys that GJ brought with him from Incarnate Word learn lessons from last year's playoff loss, come to Texas State, and have a chance to play for a bowl game. Now,
how fitting is it that our first recorded tailgate show is in the backyard, basically, of UIW?
I mean, it is pretty fitting.
I thought about going over there actually, but then then we're just YouTube guys on campus. Change my mind.
Exactly. Change my mind about 6-6. I mean, I get it. You know what I mean?
Well, I think I found our fucking thumbnail.
Look, I mean, Texas State and the guys that are on the team, they need. I think they need to do this. Playoff expansion. Pac-12's dead. Sunbelt.
Hold that note, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's just round out the schedule.
All right. Most risky game that we picked, UTSA, potentially Troy on Jacob's part. The lock, I think, is ULM. I go Arkansas State. I think those are the 2 that lock. So even worst case scenario, wheels fall off. You have Jacob Rodriguez under center at some point in the season.
Hey, I'm there.
You're looking at 2-win game.
I know the offense. Not really, but
I think that but the thing is, even Jacksonville State and Nevada, you're looking at 4 wins baseline. That's a baseline.
Hopefully,
4 wins.
We thought we walked into Nevada, everybody was talking shit. Fucked around, found out.
But that's the thing. That's the last year of Spavital The wheels were already on the ground. The wheels had fallen off.
You think so?
He lost the team. I think so. I think he might have lost the team by then. So
How many lane Hatcher starts until that happened? 2?
2 lane Hatcher starts. They said
That's 2.
2 lane Hatcher starts. They said we're done, dude. This is I can deal with 1, 2. No, I'm done. So
1, shame on you.
exactly. So no, I think he might have lost the team by that point. I think Nevada this year is a completely different, totally different story. So look, baseline 4 wins. You're feeling pretty good about the season coming in. I know that expectations are maybe as high as they've ever been. I don't think the Everett Withers era, we were considering this. I think the Spavital era, people were I remember when he came on campus, people were talking about, like, could this be a team that's winning a Sun Belt? The J.J. Kenny era, man, it just feels different. It just feels different. It feels like a guy with pedigree. It feels like a guy with a plan. And the hype has never been higher for a head coaching hire at Texas State. I really don't believe so.
Let's take a break for a nap. Tim, it's hot as fuck out here. We're filming this at like plus 900 degrees. Is the way we fix climate change college coaches complaining about, basically the NCAA infrastructure as a whole, realignment and traveling?
All those private jets going from UCLA to Rutgers is what is really hurting us. Greta Thunberg has a statement coming out later. No, here's the thing. So the best thing Larry Tice ever did was accidental. Is he joined the Sun Belt Conference? There's absolutely
I'm sure he signed a couple forms. Like it
there
was
is
sort
no
of a choice.
way that he knew that this was coming. I do not believe it. No way did Larry Tice know that this is where college football was going. He got in.
Well, nobody did.
Well, I knew that this is where this was going. I could have told you 10 years ago this is where this was going when the Pac-12 tried to get Oklahoma, Texas, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma State. So here's the deal. So the Sun Belt not only gets one of the best media deals in the group of 5, okay, but they got a group that the whole reason this conference works is the regional rivalries. And this last run through of like who's going to move around, no Sun Belt team was even talked about leaving. And the only teams that would leave, App State, maybe JMU, right? Troy, Southern. No, all those teams are in the SEC. The SEC's never going to accept those teams because they already have teams in the states. So those schools don't want them. So the Sun Belt,
the whole Houston thing.
The Sun Belt is set up perfectly. There's not another Group of 5 conference that is set up as well as the Sun Belt Conference right now, and you have to love it. You have to love it because this is the other thing. Texas State comes in now, a new head coach, a little bit of turbulence at Coastal. Arkansas State doesn't know what they're doing. Troy and Southern Miss are 2 programs that have good head coaches. Summerall is talked about as one of the best coaches in the Group of 5. He's already getting looked at for other Power 5 jobs, so there's potentially there. And the college football expands to 12 teams. It's looking like, Jacob, the Sun Belt might get a team in the playoffs. I'm serious. The Sun Belt, as a 12-team playoff, if the winner of the Sun Belt Conference, there's a real shot. You're coming as a 12 seed or 11 seed, and you're having to go to a Ohio State or a Michigan. But we talked about it on Twitter. Sun Belt fans, Texas State fans, we'll go anywhere. There's one guy, shout out to you, saving like $6,000 a year.
Yeah.
Just putting $6K a year, just putting it away, being like, yeah, when we get to
I don't
a
know
bowl
if it's
game,
$6,000 a year, but it is $6,000.
this guy is insane. I love it. So that means, like, okay, I know I'm getting my room, getting my board. I would love to go to a playoff game. I'd love to go to a bowl game. You know what I mean? And wouldn't it be sweet if the first bowl game Texas State ever plays in is a playoff game, Jacob? Because it's possible. It's not impossible now with the playoffs expanding and the way that Pac-12 is completely falling apart. This helps the Sun Belt Conference. Helps them.
Well, everything that's like anti-big government basically is like
the Sun Belt's the libertarian candidate.
Yeah, straight up.
It kind of
the Manchurian candidate, Texas State.
Honestly, a little bit. And look, how sweet would it be if there was a world where Texas State goes to a bowl game and win? I'm not saying they're going to win a playoff game, but goes to a bowl game and wins one before UTSA, who had. Maybe. I don't know. It's possible, right? You don't want to get too excited, or we just predicted 6-6 season. There's a world, where UTSA ends up in the Group of 5 Super Bowl again, playing Troy or South Alabama, and then we're over here playing, like, I don't know, La Tech. You know what I mean?
Or FAU.
Oregon State. Like, I mean, there's a world, you know?
FSU.
Yeah. FSU. Miami.
Florida Southern
The
University, not Florida State.
The U? I mean, yeah. I mean,
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. I mean, I'm
Army.
My thing is, I'm excited. When I saw all the pieces falling apart, when I saw the Big Ten become a super conference, I know a lot of college football fans aren't happy about that. I'm not necessarily happy about that when it comes to rivalries and, like, the product on the field. I don't think that's going to help the product. I don't think it's going to help the student athletes.
Doesn't help with global warming.
It's not going to help the global warming either. It is going to help Texas State. So if there's a silver lining here, Texas State's potential, the Sun Belt's potential of getting a team to the playoffs, look, it's possible.
Dome coming, Bobcat Stadium for sure. This shit keeps up. You know, Oregon has to travel to where to play a regular season game twice. Yeah.
You feel bad for
and that's just a money-making sport, right? Football. Consider baseball.
You feel really bad for the women's soccer program, the lacrosse program. Northwestern having to go to UCLA. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a fun trip for anybody by any means. It's not fun for anybody. So you feel bad for the student athletes, I think, before you feel bad for anybody else. Global warming probably a close second, right? Like, women's soccer team, number 1, global warming number 2 on who this screws over.
I don't know. I don't like it.
I
love the Rose Bowl as like the national.
You know what's funny is that now the Rose Bowl, who plays in that? If there's no Pac-12, is it the Big 12 champion?
And that's because the people who decided who played in that for the longest time were like,
we're the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Well, it's like we're not gonna pick like the same teams all the time. We're gonna pick something that matters, something that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Was it Texas a lot? Yes. But, yeah.
Well, normally it was the champion of the Pac-12, the champion of the Big Ten. We're playing in the Rose Bowl.
That's kind of fun.
I mean,
yeah. Little set.
Yeah. And now it's like, it rotates. It's going to be a playoff game now. So, the pageantry of the granddaddy of them all kind of goes down the toilet. But
the big one.
The Rose Bowl. I'll tell you. So your Rose Bowl memory, quick.
Colt McCoy breaking his fucking collarbone.
Is that your Rose Bowl memory?
Yes.
My Rose Bowl memory is TCU beating Wisconsin, making JJ Watt cry.
The first time I said bitch in front of my father.
Really?
I was like, that guy's a bitch. And he was like, go to your room.
I'm here for you, Colt. I love Colt McCoy.
I saw the Johnny Manziel documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
It came out today.
Did you watch any of it?
August 8th. I just saw a little bit of it before I edited a bunch of shit. But anyway, I was just realized how much I love like that era. That was still very fun college
The early
football.
2010s?
Yeah. Well, not early. It was 2016. When he beat Bama, that's 2015? 2014? No, 2012?
He won the Heisman in 13.
Fuck, really?
Yeah.
Dude, he's old as shit now.
Yeah.
When I had a beer with him in College Station, he looked rough. He's huge. He looked 40 pounds bigger than when he was playing.
Did he look big in the documentary?
No, he was on coke. Well, not during it, but, that era, he was on coke.
Well, in the documentary, when they're interviewing him, did he look big?
Oh, no, he looked fine. Okay. And not sober, but, like, he had found himself.
New bar coming to...
Stop hanging out with Drake. That's his fucking issue.
New bar coming to Northgate.
Really?
You gonna go?
Is he?
Money Manziel?
Yeah. He has a bar?
New bar opening up.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that confirmed?
Yeah.
From your brother?
He confirmed it.
Your brother's an egg.
Yeah, brother's Nagy. I do not think he's going to go to Johnny Manziel's bar. Johnny Manziel confirmed it. He's got a new bar opening up.
They shut it down for like cockfighting or something.
They
already have turtle racing.
They're talking about it already needing more space. They're saying that it needs to be a bigger location.
What are they going to call it?
I think it's Money Manziel's.
Money Manziel's.
Something like that.
It's kind of lame. I would just call it Manziel's. Or Heisman. That's kind of far, but you can't.
I think,
copyright,
you can't
trademark.
Can't use the copyright. I said, could you do Heisman House and put a Z? But I think maybe the Toyota.
Or what about his house, but High's house?
Wait, like slurring your speech?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Had a couple drinks on this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. What are we thinking? But I just think Money Manziel's. I think that was the name of it. But it's a new bar coming to Northgate. So for all you Aggies out there, I know that
you're tired of the Dixie Chicken. Come here. My favorite joke to do at Northgate is at the Dixie Chicken. Like half of it burned down a couple years ago. But they have a live rattlesnake, or if it's not a rattlesnake, it's diamondback. And I always go up to people at the bar and go, "Do you know there's a snake back there?" Not drunk.
I have
drinking water, and I'll go to people pretending to be drunk.
I've been to the Dixie Chicken like maybe twice in my life. It's
worth the experience. I think that's one of the best bars on Northgate. Just,
what do you think about?
You don't have to worry about getting assaulted.
Yeah, it's more family friendly. The Chimneys of Northgate.
Well, there is a Chimneys, I think.
That's what I'm saying. It's the Chimneys of Northgate is Dixie Chicken.
Well, the Chimneys of Northgate, I guess, would just be Chimneys.
No, well, you might get assaulted at that Chimneys. You're not going to get assaulted at the Chimneys in San Marcos. I can promise you that, folks.
Bad clip.
Huh?
Bad clip.
Well, I'm just true. I mean, like, I think that's like of the bars at. That's what I'm going with this.
Okay. That you think San Marcos, the Square, is safer than Northgate?
I didn't say that.
Chimneys. That's kind of a fine line you're walking.
Chimneys is that Chimneys in San Marcos.
You and I talk about it all the time. We've talked about this one fight that was the worst fight we've ever seen in our lives. I've seen 10 of those in San Marcos.
Yeah, it's
Famously, I was in the bar. This is like my "Where were you?" moment when they brought the AR-15 and freaking rooftop.
So we can cut this if you want, but I might be. It's topical. The Montgomery Sweet Tea riot, not riot, but the
Battle of Montgomery.
The Battle of Montgomery. The Sweet Tea. Okay, the Sweet Tea Party. You saw that and thought what?
It's crazy.
As somebody who is very anti-helping other people, and like you see something happen on one side of the street, you
see a guy getting
jumped,
assaulted. Definitely in a sort of a racially motivated way.
Whether so that's the line.
Racial lens for sure.
That's the line.
Yeah,
I saw a man swim 20 yards.
That was crazy.
I'm like thinking to myself, Jacob wouldn't do that. Jacob wouldn't go 20 feet.
Well, isn't that like... Do they have alligators over there? I don't have to worry about that.
In Montgomery, Alabama?
Do they have alligators over there?
I don't think so.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure they're not alligators in that bay.
I'll Google Fish and Wildlife Alabama.
I don't think there's alligators in that bay.
There's a snake in that.
Would you go?
To the ferry ride at Montgomery?
Yeah. Would you jump off the boat?
I already shit on Riverwalk Stadium in Alabama, I guess, this year. I guess to see the folding chair, to see the scene of where it went down.
No, I mean, if you saw that, if you were on the ferry, if you were on the Harriet Tubman trying to dock, and you saw what was going down, and you saw a guy jump in the water and swim over there, would you be... Like, with my brothers, I'm jumping, I'm going over there to help?
Well,
or are you pulling the phone out?
In that scenario, right, under a racial lens, as we've said, I'm on their team already.
Okay.
I gotta do something.
Yeah, okay.
I'm either on the phone with the police or talking down the situation.
Gotcha. Journalism, Jake pulls out the phone.
Or pull out the phone.
Yeah, make sure that everybody gets to see it. Okay,
we can live stream on YouTube now, so,
That's fair, okay. Get on Periscope, get on X.
Exactly.
Yeah, alright, that's fair. I saw that and immediately. I was like, I don't know if I can swim that far and that fast. I think everything would have wrapped up by the time I got there. However, if I was in the bar with the margaritas,
it's a long way. I think he underestimated how far it was.
My thing is,
it sounded like a 50 meter.
I would be wanting to jump in and help, but I'm worried that I might get hit. And it's like friendly fire. Yeah. It's friendly fire.
The real hero in that is the first black dude that like sees the security. The hat goes in the air.
The bat signal.
Yeah, the bat signal goes up. You see this guy booking it, and he's like immediately de-escalating the situation, and then things get out of control.
Yeah. No, I'm very much pro. I've been on the side of this for a while. This is not a new take. I'm pro helping strangers as they're getting beat up, like to help them. I saw that and I thought to myself, what would Jacob do? WWJD. What would Jacob do?
We were talking about lettered organizations earlier in this podcast. We used to have a back signal word that you would say if you're getting into a fight. It was Alamo. Actually, fitting over San Antonio.
Kidding.
So if you heard Alamo, you were like, yo, what's happening? Somebody needs help? Yeah.
Really?
That was like our safe word.
That's smart. I didn't realize that the letter organizations were getting in so many brawls in public that you had to have like
you got to come up with a system.
That's smart.
This system has been passed down from generation
I didn't think about that. Don't forget, and it's easy. Don't forget the Alamo.
Don't forget the Alamo.
You see, if I got in a fight with me and my friends, I think I'd have to yell Pee-wee. Pee-wee!
It's also a word that you can't like mess up. It's like 2 syllables, so Alamo! And then you sound kind of cool when you say it, too. You're getting your ass kicked in that moment, but you say, Alamo! Like, you're going down like Davy Crockett. essentially.
That's fair. That's
His birthday, by the way, is on Saturday, August 12th.
Shout out Davey. You guys can go to hell. I'm going to Texas.
Say it.
Famous David Crockett line. So I don't know if you want to keep that or not, but that's.
I like that.
I thought that. I mean,
that's a good segment.
Like I said, I'm very much pro. I would want to help the security guard.
Half a card talking about
I want to help the security guard. I don't know. I feel like
my head's in the game, but my heart's in the song.
I'm worried I'm going to get punched in the mouth. I'm worried that they're going to look at me as like you're one of the villains, and I'm not.
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah,
but you got to be one of the first guys there.
I think so.
Because if you go in late, you're getting slept.
Yeah. I think there can't be any hesitation. Scream ally.
Ally.
You had Alamo, I have ally.
That's good.
We're here.
Is there anything else we had to talk about? I don't think so. Kind of wrap it. I think we're going to go on kind of our world tour where we're just talking to people. We're setting up interviews for next week, week after, basically all the way until we fucking kick off. This show is going to have some form of a guest, I think. We need to cover some ground. Yeah, I think that's good. That's the way to do it. And they're looking out for a thing that me and Zim will actually write for DCTF. Bobcat basketball. Yeah. We're talking about Coach Johnson and Coach Anton about, the season, the players, the who, the what, the where, the why, and ultimately the quest for another ring? Banner? Bring me a banner. Bring me a banner. Yep. Team break. Ask me about my banner.
We ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges. Better not come any closer.
Thanks for listening. New episodes out every Thursday. Follow the boys on Twitter. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up.